Trail Podcast, episode, what is this, 10? Wow. Episode 10 of this podcast. I just want to thank you guys so much for checking out the podcast, supporting the podcast, spreading the word about the podcast. Let me tell you, I got a lot of great feedback on last week's episode, and so I just want to thank Stephen Lucas from Vice Years for being my guest, and I just think that we had such a good discussion. I mean, I really enjoyed the back and forth between Stephen and I. Again, it's a lot easier when you've known the person for so long that you can just, kind of connect on many levels. And he was sharing stuff with me that I didn't know, and I think I was sharing a few things that maybe he didn't know, and it was just kind of really nice to connect on that like completely different level and, kind of figure out where we're at. So big ups to Steven. Please go check out his band Vice Years. I promise you will not regret it. They're on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your music, you can find Vice Years. That's how easy it is, and really worth going out of your way to check out. You probably heard a clip of Steven's stuff at the end of last week's podcast. So again, thank you, Steven. Do appreciate it. Always start out the podcast just reminding you, very easy if you want to support the show. It's never required, but it's always, always appreciated. If you go to garyspodcast.com/Amazon, you just do your normal Amazon shopping as you would. You're just going to my link instead of Amazon.com. And all it is just an affiliate link. They give me a couple of pennies off of the sale that they made by you. You don't pay any extra. It's super simple. And again, if you can support the show that way, doing something you probably already do on a weekly or semi-weekly basis, which is shopping in Amazon, you can definitely help me increase what I'm doing here. So, I've always said from day one, from episode 1 all the way now to episode 10, I'm not looking to get like super duper rich on this thing. I do this because I love it. If I can eventually break even, I would greatly appreciate that. Also, another way you can support this podcast is by using Lyft, whether you want to ride or drive. Option is yours. We got codes for both, and it's actually just one code, Gary's Podcast. If you want to ride, you can save up to $20 off your very first ride with Lyft. So this is for people that never have used Lyft before. If you don't have an account with them, and if you do, maybe you can sign up for another one. Wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, all that stuff. But you can use my code Gary's Podcast to save up to $20. And I say up to because every market is different. So if you're listening to me in New York, it's going to be different than if you're listening to me in Philadelphia or right here in DC, or if you're in Boston. I know that's a lot of East Coast. California, I'll show you some love. If you're in San Diego, if you're in LA, these are all different markets. San Fran, Seattle, Miami, Orlando, all these are different markets. I'm going to try to get an easy way to read out some of the top cities, so that way I can give you specifics on the week that you're listening and tell you specifically how much you can save. But right now, folks, it's just really simple. Up to $20 off your very first ride with Lyft. Hey, maybe you want to go out and have a few drinks. You want to have a good time. I had a good time this weekend. You're going to hear all about that in this podcast. Just use the code Gary's Podcast. It's super simple. Maybe you're like me and you want to drive for Lyft. Maybe you're very outgoing. You like to be out and about. If that is your thing, then you should drive for Lyft. You can use the exact same code Gary's Podcast. And now instead of saving that, up to $20, you could potentially get a bonus of up to $1,000. And again, it's different in every market. I can't promise you guys exact figures because it changes by the week. But if you use the code Gary's Podcast to sign up to drive, you can get up to $1,000 based on your market. And once you complete, I think it's like 50 rides, 100 rides, somewhere in there, and you'll get a bonus when you sign up for Lyft. So again, Amazon, Gary'sPodcast.com/Amazon, or go to Lyft, Gary's Podcast is the code, whether you want to ride or drive. The choice is yours. But either way, these are the super easy ways to support this podcast, and they are greatly, greatly appreciated. So with that being out of the way, I've gone on for 5 minutes now. It's time to actually do the content, right? That's what you came here for. You want to hear what's going on. So I went to Florida Georgia Line this weekend. I'm going to tell you all about it. But first, we should probably get into a weight update because I think this is super important. I think a lot of you that stumble onto this podcast, you're probably listening because you found out about my weight journey, my weight loss journey, and you're curious as far as, where I'm at, and maybe it kind of just, makes you think about where you're at. And we're all going to the same journey together. We're all trying to lose weight, right? If you followed me for this reason, and I'm reaching out to a lot of you on Instagram, and I definitely want to talk about that as well. That's what you're here for. That's probably one of the main reasons. So last week was very music heavy. We're going to start the first half of the show with health updates, weight loss updates. I wish that I could come onto this podcast and give you a good news update. Unfortunately, my weight did go up. There is some question internally for me about this scale last week. It said that I dropped 10 pounds, and I really found that hard to believe. A lot of times when I lose weight, my body feels different. I mean, I guess it's kind of, should be said, or maybe that's kind of the obvious thought, but honestly, on weeks where I don't lose weight or I kind of maintain, I don't feel very different. But if I've lost 2-3 pounds, I do feel a little bit of a difference. So I got on the scale, I think it was last Monday, and I didn't feel super different. Okay, I was at 298. The scale said I was at 288, so it was a loss of 10 pounds. I get on the scale Monday morning, and it said I was at 293, which is a gain of 5. So I think there's got to be an issue with the scale, and this is not, I went up in weight, so let me blame it on something. Honest to God, this is the 100% truth. I have not changed my diet in any way, shape, or form. I did not miss any workouts. Nothing changed. It's not like I said, holy crap, let me go to Pizza Hut and get 6 pizzas and put on this 5 pounds. Like, honestly, and I don't even think that I drink more water than I normally drink, because I do drink a lot of water. So that kind of may or may not contribute. But it's such a fluctuation to come in week after week and hit a weight loss number instead of a weight gain or a maintain is not always the easiest. For most of my weeks, I have lost weight, and I'm very thankful and happy about that because, I always say hard work always wins. I've said this on Instagram again. We'll get to that. But the thing about it is that it's just, I don't want to harp on the number. The number to me, this is one thing I really, really want to get into, because I feel like a lot of people out there, you worry about the number, right? Maybe you have a specific weigh-in day. I would never recommend weighing yourself every single day. Some people will disagree, and that's fine. Opinions are running rampant. Everybody's got their own opinion on how they want to do it. It's totally up to you. I wouldn't personally weigh myself each and every day because the anxiety would drive me nuts, because I know that, after my weigh-in is like my cheat day, right? So I eat like crap, and I don't do my intense workout. I do a lighter weightlifting base workout for toning, because I don't want to have skin sagging down to the floor by the time I lose all this weight. And so I know that whatever I lost in that last week, I'm likely to gain it back in the first day or two, because Monday is my cheat day, because the workout is not nearly as intense. And that's all deliberate, by the way. For my personal thing, and again, this is going to be different for everybody, folks, but for me personally, I need a day where I can eat whatever I want. I'm good all week long. I want that day. Everything that I eat throughout the week is allowing me some wiggle room to have this one day where I can say, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I want. The only thing I don't compromise on is I don't do McDonald's. I don't do sodas. Okay? These are two things that are a no-no on any day, even cheat day. So I went up 5 pounds. The thing is, you cannot harp on the number. That's really what I'm trying to get to here in this kind of long-winded way, is that do not harp on the number. If you're like me and you have an app where you track the number, that's fine. When Monday comes or whatever your weigh-in day is, figure out what the number is, weigh yourself, record it, and move on. Get that number as far out of your head as possible. The last thing you should be doing all week long is thinking about that number. I think we harp so much on whatever that number is. Yes, it says I went up 5. Yes, there's probably something wrong with the scale. The point for me personally is that I have to just kind of to get that out of my mind and just remember that, hey, I can go to concerts and buy 2X t-shirts now. Because before I wore 5X and I couldn't fit any of that stuff, So you got to be thankful for the little things as long as you're making progress. Now, if you're going up a weight every single week, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, all right, now maybe you want to panic because you're going in the wrong direction, I think, my opinion. But for me, my body, everybody's body is different. But for me, I notice like once a month, my weight goes up. It happens 1 week out of the month, my weight goes up. And there's nothing I can do that's going to stop it. It's just going to go up. I've not had 1 month this year where it didn't go up once. So it will go up once, and that is, it's okay. You don't need to harp on it. Do not harp on this number, ever. Set it, forget it, and when next money comes, then you can worry about whatever the new number is. Because this number is temporary, folks. It's not here to stay. If you're in a weight loss journey, that number's not there to stay. If you are somebody who's already in shape and you're looking to maintain your weight, then that number becomes more of a concern. Somebody who is like a boxer or a UFC, I'm sorry, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather is fresh on the mind. If you're guys like this, you've got to be hyper-focused on your weight because, number one, you're already in shape, and your job is relying on what weight you come in at. You can't be overweight or else you'll be fined or whatever. But when you're in a weight loss journey, that number, if everything's going well, should change every week. It's not going to happen every week, but in theory, it should as long as you're putting in the work, okay? This brings me to my next thing, and that is hard work always wins. If you go to hardworkalwayswins.com, maybe you're somebody that's brand new to this podcast, okay? Maybe you're a fan of Stephen Lucas, or you're stumbling on here from Instagram, and that's great. Welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. Hardworkalwayswins.com will take you to a page on my website, which will tell you my entire weight loss journey so far. It gives you from when I started to where I was as of like a week ago. Okay. It kind of outlines what I've been doing and how I've been going about it. And I thought it was important to share this because a couple of things happened in the last few days that more people are starting to catch on to what's going on. So I felt like if I had a website where you could just click on this website and suddenly you would know everything that's going on with me. And then if you said, okay, I want to follow you now on Instagram, you're kind of already caught up with what's going on. Okay. So hardworkalwayswins.com, and I'll punch it up on my phone here right now, live to tape or whatever. Let's see here. Let me open up a new tab. I have Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather on mind. I was looking at tickets to watch it on the Strip. I'll be in Vegas that weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. So, hardworkalwayswins.com takes you to my webpage, GaryCantrell.net, which there's a page on GaryCantrell.net that explains my journey. It's titled Hard Work Always Wins, How I Began My Weight Loss Journey. There's a before and after picture of me that was featured on Reddit, and it's just it's a nice little blog about my weight loss journey. So my recommendation, if you're brand new to this podcast, if you're brand new to me, Gary Cantrell, please go, because chances are you're finding me because of the weight loss. Go to hardworkalwayswins.com. That's my website. and you can find out all about this journey really easily. Okay, cool. So once you read up on that, now you're caught up. So if we're on Instagram, if we're on Snapchat, now you know everything that's going on. You already know the backstory, and we're ready to go. And you can listen to the first 10 episodes of this podcast. I've got people tweeting me that are telling me they're going through my podcast and they're listening, and I really appreciate this, guys. I cannot tell you how much it means to me. I love to talk and share my stories with the world. That's the whole reason why I'm here. I hope to help people out that are in a similar position. But yeah, welcome to the podcast, and please check out hardworkalwayswins.com, and you'll get the full backstory. So there you go. So let's talk about Instagram and Snapchat. Woof, I can't even get that out straight. So last week I posted a picture, which is the same picture on hardworkalwayswins.com, of a before and after. These were taken on the same day, 1 year apart from each other, which is pretty crazy when you can line that up right. You can find a specific picture and you know what day. Thanks to Facebook memories for that. On this day, I like that. So I was at King's Dominion with my cousin. I took a picture, and the difference for me, this was one of the first times that I noticed it. I think so much of it is day in and day out. We look at ourselves in the mirror, and you may not always notice a difference. I noticed a difference twice. Once when I shaved my big ass beard, which you can see on my Instagram at Gary Cantrell, and then looking at this picture, I could notice a huge difference in my face. Wow, did I notice a big difference. I'm going to post a picture either tonight or tomorrow with the face-to-face, which just blows my mind. You can see me at my biggest, and then a picture of me now, which just, it blows my mind. I'm so glad to be where I'm at now. I cannot tell you how much it feels good to, be feeling better. My knees don't hurt as much, and a lot of things, and we'll continue to go into that. So Instagram was starting to blow up a little bit for me. Not huge, but I have made some new connections on there. So I posted a picture to Reddit under their Pics subreddit, and it got upvoted over 6,000 times. I'm blown away at this. I was not expecting this. There was a lot of people on Reddit that said, that I look like the guy from Smash Mouth, which is okay. I mean, I'm not a hater, bro. I can laugh at that stuff. People have told me I look like the guy from Smash Mouth so much. I've heard that for probably since the song All Star came out, which was what, 99? Somebody once told me that. Okay, yeah, you got it. I could even kind of fake his voice a little bit too. So there were people singing the song to me in the Reddit thread, which was nice. There were other people that were just kind of, like Reddit trolls. They kind of just do what they do. And then there was a lot of encouraging, very kind things that people had to say. And I waited, kind of after this whole thing blew up. And then I was like, well, maybe I should put my Instagram in there. If they want to know more, they want to figure out what I'm all about, they can always go to this Instagram and they can get live updates, day by day. I'm posting on Instagram once a day at this point. I made a vow to myself to step up my Instagram game in 2017. Now, it's already August, and maybe it's a little late in 2017 to get started, but I love connecting with people. I've been talking with people on Instagram and Snapchat. I'm meeting new people on these platforms, and it really means a lot to me. This may surprise you listening to this podcast, but I'm actually a very shy person. If I'm out in public, I don't just walk up and have a conversation with people. Like, that may come as a surprise, just in the sense of you hear me on this podcast and I'm like, I'm okay, I can talk to anybody. You might be chatting with me on Instagram or Snapchat and I'm chatting with you just fine, but on the inside, I'm very shy and nervous a lot of times. And I'm trying to get out of that zone and be more comfortable around people, because I really enjoy interacting. It's one of the reasons why I drive for Lyft and Uber, is because I get to meet new people and have these interactions and have great conversations, great meaningful conversations with these people. So I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone of being nervous and shy and broaden my horizons and talk to new people. So with that being said, I first started on Instagram and I started looking up people that are in the weight loss community, and I'm just like, I need to reach out to these people. There's so many great people out there that they're on their journey and they want, they're looking for encouragement or what have you. And I want to help people out. I want to give people the same thing that people have been giving to me. And that's just such positive reinforcement that, you really can. If you just work hard and you believe, you can do it. I mean, you can do anything. You could run the country. You can do many things if you just put in the hard work and believe. And I am now a firm believer of this because I put in the hard work for 8 months and I'm seeing results. Something that, this is, weight loss is nothing new to me. I've tried 7 to 8 times to get a weight loss journey off the ground, and I've fallen flat on my face so many times. And I can't tell you how painful it is mentally, how much it just destroys you from the inside when you feel so defeated, and now I'm on my 8th or whatever try, and I'm like, well, now we're rocking, man. Now we're cooking with steam. I mean, everything's fallen into place essentially right now. So I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to meet with other people to help encourage them the way that people have helped encourage me. And I think that, if we all work together, we're going to reach our goals no matter what. And that's what I'm all about. I want to help people. And if people want to connect with me, I'm happy to do it. I'll follow you. You don't have to follow me back, but, I'm just kind of like, hit me up. Let's do it. Instagram at Gary Cantrell. That is at GaryCantrell. And I'm posting Instagram stories at the gym. I'm posting pictures. I always post a screen cap from my Apple Watch of my workout every time. So you can see this is how many calories he burned, this is how long he went, this is how many miles he went, etc., etc. And I'm putting out this as kind of like a blueprint for my journey. Because what triggered this, and I don't think I got to this on the last podcast, if I'm having a bad memory and I've already discussed this on episode 8, then I apologize, but I don't think I did. So I ran into this lady at Planet Fitness, works there. Normally every time I come in there, it's always, hey, how you doing? Enjoy your workout, etc., etc., which is great. I mean, I like it. Very nice people. Anyway, I'm headed out of the gym on a Friday night, and she stops me. She says, hey, do you have a minute? I said, well, sure, no problem. And she said, me and a couple of the other people here have been looking at your picture. And, this is the picture that they take when you sign up. And I signed up in January. And I also had my big beard in January. And she's like, wow, you look really good. Your face has changed a lot. What is your big secret? And I'm just kind of like thinking to myself, like, so you want to know what my secret is? As if you've not looked at the history of how many times I'm pretty sure they can look on their computer and see how many times I've checked into Planet Fitness. I'm almost confident that that's something. I don't work for Planet Fitness, so I cannot confirm nor deny, but I would imagine that they probably already know this. And I just had to tell her very frankly, the hard work is not a secret. When you put in the hard work, you're going to win. If you go to the gym, hard work always wins. When you go to the gym and you work hard, you're winning. So if you're doing this every day, even in other parts of your life, if you're working hard at your job, you're winning. If you're working hard on a side project at home, you're winning. It doesn't matter. As long as you're putting in the hard work, you are winning. That is the end of the story. There's no room for discussion. That's what it is. If you're working hard, you're winning. So I just told this woman that as kindly as I could. The hard work is not a secret, and I'm out there winning every day. even I gain 5 pounds this week, I'm still winning because I'm putting in the hard work, and eventually it's going to come right back down. So it's not even a question as far as what's going to happen to it. I mean, come on. Let's get real. So I just had to tell her that, hard work is not a secret, and I basically outlined to her what I'm doing and my diet, which is not even really a diet. It's just more portion control than anything. I'm one of the pickiest eaters on the planet, okay? There's a lot of stuff that I will not eat, and some of those things are vegetables. So I find things that I like, and I do a smaller portion of them, and I keep my calories under 1,500 a day. That's what I do. And I work out 5 times a week. Hard work is not a secret. Hard work always wins. Number one. So, you can ask me, hey, what's your big secret? And then another guy on that Sunday approached me and asked me, hey, man, what's your big secret? I'm like, at this point, I went on Instagram and made like a small little rant video because I'm like, hard work is not a damn secret. Like, what is up with you people? Why do you keep saying that it's some big secret? It's not. It's just I'm working hard at my goals. That's what I'm doing. It's not some big secret. It's just called working hard. That's the bottom line. So I think part of it too is a lot of people, they want this kind of quick fix. They want this kind of instant grat of, how do I fix this? What can I buy to get me where I want to be? And that's just, I think it's the wrong thinking, right? So, these magical milkshakes or these stupid little ab belts that are on TV where if you sit down and watch TV, it just like gyrates your abs and you're supposed to lose weight while you watch TV. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. Although I probably should have thought of this and made millions off people because clearly I'm in the wrong business. I'm not making millions, but honestly, I proved so far that I can do this all naturally. There's no surgeries or magic pills or anything like that. And I don't want to discredit people that need to do the surgery or anything like that. This is not a slam on you. Anytime you're in the gym working hard, you're winning. I'm not slamming on anybody. I'm just saying for me personally, I'm going to do it without surgery, without pills, without shakes and ab belts and all this other stuff. I'm going to show the world that in under 2 years that I'm going to reach my goal of 185 and I'm going to do it all naturally. And it's going to be, it's going to be great. I'm telling you right now. And this time next year, we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be having a good time because I'm going to reach my goals and I'm going to see you guys on Instagram and you're going to be reaching your goals and we're all going to be happy together. That's the ultimate goal. So I love you guys. Seriously. I'm just starting to meet some of you on Instagram and Snapchat and, I love you guys already. This is so cool to communicate with so many of you. It means the world to me. So if you're on Instagram and you want to follow me, I do post at least once or twice a day. So if you're one of these like weird, like, oh God, I hate seeing this person post all the time or whatever, maybe you don't want to follow me. I mean, once, maybe twice a day. I will go heavy on the Instagram stories sometime, but those don't clog up your feed. They're just a little color wrapped around my profile picture. So enter at your own risk at Gary Cantrell, at GaryCantrell. Hit it up and there you go. And then there's Snapchat. So I reconnected with an old pal of mine, Chris McManamy. Used to do a couple of radio shows with me back in the day. And he has just taken the world by storm on his Snapchatting. I mean, he's just crushing it on Snapchat. We were talking because I want to learn Snapchat. I want to get into it, and I don't understand it like he does. So he was giving me some tips. If you want to follow me on Snapchat, I am Gary Cantrell. Somebody already had Gary Cantrell. They should really just give it to me, but it's fine. I am Gary Cantrell. Get me on Snapchat. I'm just learning it. I'm trying to figure it out. So add me on there and we're good to go. So at Gary Cantrell on Instagram, at I am Gary Cantrell on Snapchat. There you go. I'm trying to take both of those platforms to the next level for me this year. By the end of the year, I'm hoping to have a bunch of people to communicate with. That's ultimately what the goal is. So we're going to continue that, and we're going to keep it rolling on. And as far as my concerts, like I said, I was at Florida Georgia Line this weekend. This will kind of be like the last segment of the show. We'll talk about this concert. I was a little salty. I was a little bummed. I did not win meet and greets with Florida Georgia Line like I had planned on. And oh my God, I'm actually skipping Friday. How can I skip Friday? I just want to slap myself for that. Okay. So I did 2 concerts this week. Friday was Michelle Branch. Michelle Branch, you may remember, had some hit singles such as Everywhere, All You Wanted, Breathe, Are You Happy Now? She did that song with Santana called The Game of Love. All good stuff. And I must say that I was so happy to see her live. I've always wanted to see her live. When I was getting out of high school, I had the biggest crush on Michelle Branch. Let me tell you, the crush was real. I had all the feels for Michelle Branch back in the day. Matter of fact, I was just talking about Instagram. If you go on my Instagram at Gary Cantrell, I've got pictures from this show. I got the VIP meet and greet. I paid extra to meet her, and it was well worth it. And I just got to tell her how much I really enjoyed her music. I did not tell her the crush thing just because that would be weird. She is a happily married woman. I don't want to impose myself on her like that. That would be weird. But I met her. She was super nice. I was actually asking to die. I was actually dying to ask her about Yellow Card's cover of Everywhere, which if you've never heard Punk Goes Pop, Yellow Card, the band who did Ocean Avenue and stuff like that, covered Everywhere back in 2002. Excuse me. It's been a long day. They covered the song back in 2002, and they did an amazing job, and I just had to ask her, like, what did you think of that? And she loves that version of Everywhere. And I was like, well, Yellow Card I think is broken up now, but you should totally find at least Ryan Key and collaborate with him. You guys should do like a remix of Everywhere, like the 2017 version of Everywhere. That would be amazing. She played all of her singles from radio over the last 15 years or so. She's played a bunch of her new stuff from her CD Hopeless Romantic. Different sound. She also made a lot of her hits sound very different. She had a different spin on them. They weren't the bubblegum poppy stuff that they used to be. There's a little bit of edge to them, and she played them well. I mean, it was to hear this crowd at 930 Club in D.C., they knew every word to every song. It was great. I mean, they really, really enjoyed Michelle Branch. I enjoyed Michelle Branch. I got to meet her. I got an autographed set list. Pictures on my Instagram at Gary Cantrell of this show. Excuse me. I know. This is the part where I'm getting ready to wrap up soon. Don't worry, guys. I know you're probably listening. Like, my God, is he really on this podcast? But I'm being real. I'm being me. A lot of these pro podcasters say, oh, you got to edit that stuff out. You got to re-record your podcast. No. I'm being me. I'm being natural. We're having a natural kind of sit down little hangout on a podcast. So I'm going to be me 100%. And if I yawn, so be it. I do apologize. I'm wrapping up soon. So she played her hits. She closed with Everywhere. She played Everywhere solo by herself. Very nice girl. I watching her at sound check, she was definitely more intense with her bandmates. Not rude or bitchy or anything like that, but just definitely intense. Wanted to make sure everything was kind of clicking right and felt right, which anybody should do in that spot. And with that, once she was with the fans, she was just a sweetheart. And it was really cool to finally meet her. Before the show, I found a gym in D.C., which was amazing. So I found a Planet Fitness in the middle of D.C. I've got the Black Card. PF Black Card members, where you at? What's up? So I got to go into a gym in D.C. and work out before the 930 Club. That's how hardcore I was about my weight loss. I'm dead serious about it. I take it very seriously. And then so Saturday was Florida Georgia Line. My cousins are in town, and it's really good to see them. So we went to Florida Georgia Line. I did not get the meet and greets. They do it a little bit differently. They give away the meet and greets. This is cool in the sense of, hey, they're a really big music act and they offer up their meet and greets through a lottery system, which means nobody has to pay to meet them. They just get to meet them possibly. I think that's really cool, but on the other end of it, I think there's something to be said for, hey, I have $200. Can I meet you? Like, sell tickets for the meet and greet. Ultimately, I probably would have gone more for it because I didn't get to meet them, but they were really, really good live. I enjoyed their show. I thought they were amazing. They put on a good show. Every time I've seen them, this was my first time being in the orchestra seating / pit. So being right up on the stage, which was pretty awesome. I was like literally right up on the stage. And Chris Lane was amazing. Ryan Hurd was amazing. Nelly, wow. Nelly was great. And then Florida Georgia Line just crushed it. Chris Lane, I'm actually so happy to see just kind of how far he's come along. He's kind of definitely evolved over the last 2 years. And he's going to be a real breakout star, 100%. He's kind of like the Luke Combs in the sense of these guys have a special aura to them, and he will 100% break out as a major star in the country music space here inside of a year or so. He'll probably be headlining Jiffy Lube Live before you know it. Honest to God, he probably will be. Ryan Hurd was decent. I've never been huge on Ryan Hurd. He's got the song Love in a Bar. He's got the song We Do Us. These are fine songs. He's never blown me away, though, but I will say that I've listened to him, and I didn't want to turn the channel or fall asleep like I'm about ready to do here in the next 2 or 3 minutes. But he was fine. And it turns out Maren Morris, his girlfriend, was actually in Virginia at Jiffy Lube Live to watch him. And she came out later during Florida Georgia Line set and did Sundays with him, which is really, really cool. So Chris Lane was amazing. Ryan Hurd was, he was fine. Nelly, I didn't know what to expect with Nelly. I was kind of like, I like some of his songs, but I don't know how he's going to translate to a country crowd. And sure enough, he went out there and just destroyed for about close to an hour. He really put on a good show. A true showman is what Nelly is. He was really good. He brought some girl on to sing her happy birthday and dance with her. Just so many nice things that I saw there for that particular part of the concert. And then Florida Georgia Line came out. They played for like an hour and a half. They played through a bunch of their hits, some new stuff from Dig Your Roots, and even some new songs, Turnt and Swerve, which are not on any album yet. And I really wanted to say about this that I think that this new direction in sound is really going to be more kind of poppy. And I don't know how current Florida Georgia Line fans are going to take that, because a lot of people kind of get more and more angry as they become less and less country and more poppy. Me, I come from a poppy, kind of rock background. So, I like pop music. I can tolerate it. I'm not like, man, bring me my country back. Whatever these artists are putting out, as long as it's good, as long as it's something I can bob my head to, it's catchy. Like, honest to God, I don't care what it sounds like. As long as it's good and I bob my head and I enjoy it and it's catchy, that's really all that matters. So I don't give a crap about, wow, they're not country or they're not rock or whatever they're not. I'm just like, does it sound good? Yes. Do I bob my head? Yes. Is it catchy? Yes. I'm all in. That's all you need to know. So there you go. That was the show. It was about a 4 or 5 hour show. The place was sold out legit. And definitely, if you've ever heard Florida Georgia Line in any capacity, I would say you should definitely check them out live. It's one of the best tickets you can buy, hands down. I would recommend it to anyone. So that is the show for this week. I want to thank everybody so much for checking out last week's show with Stephen Lucas. If you're listening to this right now, thank you so very much for checking out for checking out this podcast. I mean, I really appreciate it. You guys are definitely doing me a solid listening to what's going on, and I definitely appreciate all the support. So we're gonna end the podcast just like this. You know how it goes. Go out, have a great week, live life to the fullest, do kind stuff for others, and just remember, that hard work always wins. So you put in the hard work and you're going to win every day of your life. That's it. I mean, that's really, it's not a hard thing to say. Just go out there, live your life to the fullest, do kind for others, be the best you that you can be, and remember that hard work always wins. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please support me, Gary'sPodcast.com/Amazon, as well as Lyft using my code Gary's Podcast. Save a few bucks off your ride or sign up to drive and get a sign up bonus. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.